Welcome to Matchbox Revival. Today I'm working on the 10C, the Foden sugar container. This model came in blue and had very minor casting variations. Different wheel colors, silver, gray, blue, and black. This particular model is kind of beat up, very little paint, and missing the cap on the back. So I ordered a piece from one of the part suppliers, and it did not fit very well. So I spent some time already sanding it down and making it fit better, even cleaning up the inside of the model itself. So I'm looking forward to this build. We'll start as usual with color matching. So I started off with a little dab of the X4 blue right down on the bottom there, and as you can see, it's quite a bit darker than the original color. So as usual, we'll start off with a little dollar store container and a bit of blue. And we'll add some white. So I added a bunch more white, and now I'm down right here. And the color looks pretty good. So we're going to go with that. Next will be take the wheels and axles off. So we have coming up in the near future, Three Blind Mice are hosting a invitational for a 1966 Chevy Nova custom build. So I'm thinking that I'm going to do like a gray with a little mauve in it and put some gray stripes in it. Leave a comment, let me know what your thoughts are, what I should do. But I think with a little mauve and a nice gray stripe in there, and I'm thinking about maybe even making it a convertible. So now with the Dremel and stone bit's getting a little worn out, and the rounded axles again. So this model had one rivet post inside, but when you look at it, it really doesn't need to come apart. I'll be able to spray all the areas, and we'll leave that rivet in place. So next is paint stripping. So into the container, and the handy dandy paint stripper I always use. I still got over half left before I make the transition over to the caustic soda full time. There wasn't a lot of paint on this model, so shouldn't take a lot. So while the paint stripper is doing its thing, we'll just remove the tires off the axles. They are a little bit rusted and I need a little bit of persuasion to get them off. So we'll move on to shining up those rusty axles. Put them in the drill. And 220 sandpaper. some 2000. Shine them up. So I'm going to have a look at this back cap, back section of the tanker. It came with a little chip in the edge here. So I'm going to fill it with some JB Weld. And JB Weld comes in two types. It's long setting, and this is quick setting, the hardener for it. So we'll just mix up a little bit of that, and we'll dab a piece on the end and sand it off. So the epoxy is about 50-50 mix. Give it a good stir, get a nice consistent color. That way it'll dry quickly for you. Alright, I'll look at the paint stripper now, and it seems like it worked pretty good. So we'll run it in the sink with a toothbrush, dry it off with a little towel here. Came up pretty nice. Still a little bit of paint here and there, which I'll pick and polish off. Might even be loose. Well, it's time to polish the metal. Lots of little nooks and crannies in this one. I also noticed here at the last second the mud flaps on the two sides are bent. So we'll just straighten them out a little bit. So now we'll look at the tires. There's only one I see in there that seems to be damaged a little bit. So that'll end up being the back side of one of the wheels. So a little toothbrush. And I'll give them a little scrub, and then I'll run them under some hot water. I have this sponge that I bought from the dollar store. It's really handy because I can just take the toothpicks when I'm done, and I just stick them right into the foam anywhere I want on the table. In the spray booth now, I'm going to put some blue on this. So I put down one coat on it already, and the paint was a little thick. That's why you're getting that graininess in the finish, if you can see it on the camera. So I thinned out the paint a little more, and you should get a bit of a better gloss now. Okay, so it's time for us put the wheels back on. I got up this morning and had a look at the model. There was a little small smudge at the top, and I grabbed a Q-tip, started rubbing it, and look what happened. There was some brake fluid on the Q-tip, and I started to rub the paint off. Took the shine away, so I sprayed it with some clear gloss and got the shine back. It saved me from stripping the model and redoing it. So the axles will just do the usual procedure. Slide the axle in with the wheel on, picking a good side of the wheel. And with the nail punch. I have two different size nail punches. This one has a bigger diameter. Seems to work a little better because it's flatter inside. Kind of pushes the axle edge over to mushroom it. So let's give it a shot into the drill. So I'm going to trim up the decals now. There was a rare decal in the early production of this model where the end cap had a crown on the top. I don't know if you can pick this up, but on the top there was a little crown. So I happen to have two of the decals, and I'm going to steal a crown off here and put it on the back on the top, right in about there. Also, the decals have to be trimmed and shaped to this shape here, with the discharge door cut out of the decal. So I think what I'll do is I'll mark the measurements around with a pencil, and I will set this on, trace it, and then trim it out. These ones were cut straight. I'll take the measurement of the width along the side of the model and make sure they're cut nice and straight. And now to get it centered. Alright, managed to get that together. Looks pretty good. So there was a section of the decal that didn't release, so when I tried to slide it off, it broke. Luckily I had a second one. So there's a little lesson. When you order decals, order 2 sets. So lastly, with my chrome pen, and a little bit of chrome. So here's a picture of what the real truck looks like from Tate & Lyle. And there you have it, the 10C Foden 15-ton sugar truck. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.